And it's a cold start for us this morning. Of course, we're also looking at our potential winter storm. We'll talk about what the pattern is looking like.
Keeping the lights on. Duke Energy preparing for potential power outages ahead of our winter storm. How they're trying to make sure you keep power.
And pleading guilty. The suspect in the 2022 Hedingham mass shooting in Raleigh is expected to enter that plea today. What we know as the court case appears to be coming to an end. Those and other stories that we are tracking very closely this Wednesday morning as you're joining us here at 6 o'clock on WRAL News. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Renee Chu. A lot to get to here this morning weather-wise. We begin with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center tracking our frigid start.
Yes, it's nice and clear and pretty out. This is a live look at Rocky Mount Mills, but our temperatures are cold, 26 right now in the Triangle. Fortunately, our wind is light. We really don't have much of a wind chill that you'll notice as you're heading out the door this morning. 17 in Southern Pines, 26 in Durham, but a lot of teens out there. 19 in Goldsboro and Rocky Mount. It's 16 up in Roxborough and 17 in South Hill. Our temperatures are colder than yesterday in a lot of places. South Hill's 12 degrees colder, 7 degrees colder in Roxborough, 5 degrees colder in Rocky Mount. I don't know that you can add another layer. It was really cold yesterday. We don't end up climbing above freezing until around 10 a.m. But this afternoon looks milder. We'll see a high of around 50 degrees under mostly sunny skies, and we're in for an even warmer day Thursday with some showers on Friday. But of course, the big event is the weekend. A weather alert day for both days as we could have a major high impact winter storm. We're looking at snow in some places, but don't discount the amount of ice that we could see. We could have widespread power outages with freezing rain. We're going to talk about the difference between rain, freezing rain, and sleet coming up. Travel will become hazardous. We took a first pass at who could see what, and it's no surprise from Raleigh southward. This is where we're going to see more of an icy mix, some snow, maybe some sleet as well, and then some more snow mixes in with it from Raleigh to northward, but we could still have significant icing there. And then up toward Roxborough and the Virginia line, we'll have a better chance of more accumulating snow. We're going to talk more about the pattern and what could change to make the map look a little different. Ken?
Elizabeth, at 6:02, we're going to start right now here in the traffic center with a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. Traffic flowing at a nice steady clip in all directions, and really that's what we're seeing on all of our major routes heading into the Raleigh-Wake County area, coming in from Apex and US 1, even the US 1 South coming in from Wake Forest, all delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. With winter weather, it actually comes with the risk of power outages, as you know. Duke Energy says that its teams are getting prepared for this. Let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live outside Duke Energy headquarters this morning. And Kelsey, there are also things that people can do at home to prepare for this.
Yes, Chris, we know that this morning the staff here at Duke Energy is preparing for that winter weather that we're expecting to see this weekend. It only takes about 1/4 of an inch of ice to bring down a power line. So Duke Energy will prioritize transmission lines and substations. This prep started months, if not years in advance, trimming trees, improving power poles, and adding self-healing technology. That tool pulls power from other sources in minutes in case a line goes down. It supports about 1 million customers across the Triangle. Jeff Brooks with Duke Energy explains what to keep in mind if you use a generator at home this weekend.
You want to make sure that you're always using that the way the manufacturer intended. And that's always in a well-ventilated area, not inside or in your garage, and making sure you don't try to connect it directly to the power grid or anything like that.
It's important for you to have a plan just in case you lose power for an extended period of time this weekend. Download the WRAL weather app to stay up to date on the forecast so you and your family can stay prepared. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
NCDOT will be out on the roads this morning getting ready for the winter storm. The agency expects to use around 80,000 gallons of brine on the roads in just our area alone. DOT will be spreading it thanks to the help of 49 trucks and 127 employees. Spokesperson Kim Diener says NCDOT is prepared to adapt to the amount of snow, rain, and ice.
We'll be making those assessments as Mother Nature hands us what she's going to hand us, and then we will handle it appropriately.
Brining is expected to be done by the end of the day on Thursday. We'll be tracking the storm all week here on TV, WRAL News Plus, and online. Make sure to download the WRAL News app and turn on alerts to get important updates to your phone.
A woman and a 7-month-old baby are recovering in the hospital after a shooting in Henderson last night. Police say they received a call on Wester Avenue just before 9 p.m. And when they arrived, they found 3 people injured. Investigators say the victims were parked in front of a home when an SUV pulled up and someone started shooting. Listen to this audio from Broadcastify of the moments that police showed up at that scene.
2 GSWs, one to the mother, one to the child. Baby appears to be shot in the upper right side shoulder from the back. Mother seems to be shot in the left side thigh.
And when the victims were taken to the hospital, investigators say they were alert and aware, but police say that third person refused medical treatment and eventually left the scene. The FBI is assisting with this investigation.
Today, the teen charged in the 2022 mass shooting in Raleigh's Hedingham community is expected to plead guilty to all charges. Austin Thompson is accused of killing 5 people. WRAL's Ali Calabar is live outside the Wake County Justice Center. And Ali, this plea deal comes just weeks before his trial was set to begin.
And Renee, Thompson was already expected to be in court today for a pre-trial hearing, and now he's still going to be in court, but is expected to enter a guilty plea instead. Now, Austin Thompson's lawyers filed these court documents yesterday, giving notice of his intention to plead guilty. His lawyers saying he has always accepted he did this, and that he wishes to save the community and the victims from as much additional infliction of trauma as possible. Thompson is accused of killing 5 people, including his brother, in Raleigh's Hedingham neighborhood in October 2022. He was set to stand trial in front of a jury February 2nd. And a criminal defense attorney unaffiliated with this case tells WRAL why Thompson's lawyers gave notice of the intent to plead guilty.
Makes clear that we no longer want a trial. We think it'll be better for everybody for us to just move forward with a plea, and they've started to take the steps to try to make sure that they're saying all the right things to get the best outcome possible for him.
And we're expecting that outcome around 2:30. That's when this hearing is scheduled. WRAL's Sean Gallagher and Ashley Rowe will be following with minute-by-minute coverage. In the next half hour, we're going to hear from a victim's loved ones who says that he hopes that today's hearing may bring him a little bit of closure. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
Ali, thank you. Day 4 of testimony in the Isaiah Ross trial also gets started today. Ross is charged with the murders of 14-year-old Lyric Woods and 18-year-old Devin Clark. Yesterday, a witness testified Ross confessed to him. Christian Sykes took the stand yesterday. Prosecutors also played a recording of his 2022 conversation with law enforcement. Sykes said Ross confessed to him over a Snapchat video call in the days after the shooting. A group of Buddhist monks is getting closer and closer to the Triangle. Today, they will be making their way through Chatham County and are expected to stop in Siler City. Yesterday, the monks traveled through Greensboro on their March for Peace. The monks' spiritual leader spoke to a large crowd that gathered outside the Buddhist temple there. The message was about what it means to be at peace in everyday life, in spite of chaos happening around you. People who were there say they walked away with better insight.
A lot of the lessons were how we need to slow down and be mindful. Multitasking is a part of what many of us do. I do it all the time. So I don't know if I want to stop multitasking completely, but being more mindful about taking time to enjoy life, to be mindful of that our next moment is not promised to us.
Beautiful takeaway for all of us. Now, the Chatham County Sheriff's Office is telling drivers to be mindful of increased pedestrian traffic on US 421 and 64. If you are stopping to see the monks as they arrive, you're asked not to park along the highway or road shoulders. WRAL will keep you informed of their route, arrival times, and any public events. So keep it up to date here on WRAL News and on all our digital platforms.
Your time is 6:09 this morning. Cutting down on police chases. Why the Raleigh police chief says a new piece of technology will help protect officers and other drivers on the road.
And school meal debt. Why the school board rejected a proposal aimed at cutting costs amid rising debt.
And we're looking at a major winter storm starting to develop across the country, moving our way. We'll talk about how the position of these systems will help to bring us differing kinds of precipitation. And coming up, meteorologist Chris Michaels will talk about the difference between sleet, freezing rain, and snow. It is 6:12, and yes, Franklinton has their snowman. They've got the igloo. I mean, actually, they have 2 snowmen. The big question is anybody going to be able to make a snowman over the weekend? Are we going to be dealing with mostly icy conditions? And we're going to have some numbers for you coming up tomorrow, but we'll have a look at the trends and sort of first pass at the map of, what it looks like. I'll tell you, a sneak peek, a hint, what it looks like. It's definitely going to be more icy for the southern part of the viewing area and more snowy to the north. This morning, though, we're looking at cold conditions. Right now, it's 16 in Roxborough, 17 in South Hill, 26 in the Triangle, 22 in Fayetteville, but it feels like 14 in Fayetteville with the wind chill. This afternoon, it'll warm up. We'll see some sunshine with high temperatures closer to 50. Coming up, meteorologist Chris Michaels is going to talk about the difference, especially between sleet and freezing rain and how it forms.
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We're going to start with this live look at the northern loop of the Beltline, I-440 Ridge Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us. Traffic flowing at a nice steady clip on that northern loop of the Beltline. Similarly, no delays whatsoever on that southern loop, which is really good news. And as we widen out the view, that's really indicative of what we're seeing on all of our major routes. No delays whatsoever coming in to the Raleigh County area, I-87, I-40 eastbound. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, no delays, no problems. Thanks, Ken. Raleigh police will get new technology meant to reduce how often police officers conduct high-speed chases. It's a new GPS tracking device like the one you see behind me in this video. So in just the last week, there were at least 5 high-speed chases in the Triangle. The new device is called Star Chase, and Raleigh Police Chief Rico Boyce says it's kind of similar to an AirTag. An officer can use a vehicle-mounted launcher to deploy a tracker onto a car as it drives away. According to Chief Boyce, this will not only make vehicle pursuits safer for officers, it's also going to keep other drivers on the road safe.
When I was selected as chief, I tasked my senior leadership team with identifying equipment that we could use here in the capital city to bring vehicle pursuits to a safe end. It allows us as law enforcement to safely track a fleeing vehicle without engaging in a high-speed pursuit.
And the Raleigh Police Department Foundation is expected to fully fund this new technology.
The Wake County School Board rejected a proposal to reduce the amount of food served to students in debt. Debt from unpaid school meals skyrocketed among Wake County students. The school system says debt is topping $150,000 this year. That's significantly higher than it was last year, even after community donations paid for much of it. Read more on how the district is handling a possible shortfall in the education section of WRAL.com.
Some big events are already being postponed because of the weekend winter weather forecast. Saturday's annual Lunar New Year Festival, it's been moved to March 14th. That festival draws hundreds of people to Dorton Arena and Raleigh each year. Organizers tell WRAL they have moved it in hopes of better weather for a safer celebration.
The WRAL Severe Weather Team is growing concerned with the chance for mixed precipitation this weekend. Meteorologist Chris Michaels shows us why and what the difference is between freezing rain and sleet. Chris.
Yeah, you're rooting for sleet, you're rooting for snow in a situation like this. But a lot of this has to do with how the air temperature is going to be a few thousand feet above our head. If you have this thick layer that's above freezing above us, then you get rain, and then it freezes on contact with the ground. However, if that layer of warmth is a little narrower, then you have more potential for freezing, and it turns into these ice pellets or sleet. So we've used this example before, breakfast time, so maybe this is fitting for you. Freezing rain is kind of like a glazed donut where it just sticks to everything, whereas sleet is like the sprinkles where it just kind of bounces off of everything and then freezes on contact. So if you have a bunch of sleet, you're less likely to get power outages, whereas freezing rain is what leads to the downed trees, the downed power lines, and things like that. It's especially the case when you get above 1/4 of an inch or above 1/2 an inch of freezing rain. It may not sound like much, but that's enough to really add some extra weight to the power lines. This is the trend that's kind of concerning, is that the odds of significant snow have gone down in the data indicating that there would be a layer of warmth above us that would translate to some freezing rain and some sleet. Now, Elizabeth, it's going to take some time before we know the exact numbers, but the impact looks to be pretty significant for us.
Yeah, it does, Chris. You know, we are definitely rooting for snow, I mean, no matter what, but especially because of the impacts that we could end up seeing here. The ice, of course, as Chris said, is what clings to the power lines and the trees and creates, some real issues out there. The power lines break, the trees break. I remember in particular back in December of 2002, we had a big ice storm here. And Chris is going to talk about that coming up in about half an hour. And boy, that's something that nobody ever wants to relive. We'll likely have at least some snow. Travel is going to be almost impossible over the weekend, most likely. And also, we'll have very cold temperatures, especially as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So the winter storm is likely. It's likely to start Saturday, last through much of the day on Sunday. We will have snow in parts of the viewing area. We will likely have ice. Hoping for more sleet than ice, but it's not looking promising. We're trending toward more ice at this point. And coming up by tomorrow, we're going to start to have some totals. We do have a first pass at who's probably going to get what. The big issue is, where does this high end up? If the high pressure system is too far to the west, it's not delivering the cold air, and this warm air that's going to come up from the Gulf of Mexico is going to win. And we don't want that to win, not just because we love snow, but because we don't want the power outages. So if this high positions itself a little farther to the east, it's going to deliver. It's going to have a harder push of that cold air that comes in, and that's going to save us from the icy conditions. But that's looking iffy at this point. You can see the position here. This is a potential position for where it could be. And again, Chris is going to talk about the differences between the big ice storm that we had about 25 years ago and what we could see this weekend. We're going to have plenty of moisture with this, but again, it's going to drag in the Gulf moisture, which is, we're going to have that Gulf moisture, but that Gulf moisture is going to have a lot of warmth with it, and that cold air has to overcome that warmth coming out of the Gulf for us to see more snow. So it makes sense that the farther north you go, the more snow you'll see, and the farther south, the more ice we'll likely see. It's interesting, as Chris was talking about, at the ground, everybody's going to be below freezing, but what matters is what's happening just above us, and that's where we get this very interesting layering and that potential for ice, especially from, say, the Triangle area southward. Let's talk a little bit about what happens before we get to the system. We'll likely see increasing clouds for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a decent day. We don't see rain until fairly late, temperature around 60 degrees or so. Some evening showers on Thursday. On Friday, we could wake up to a little bit of light patchy rain during the morning commute. Don't be surprised by that. I think people are really focused on our wintry precipitation. We're not expecting that on Friday, expecting some rain. And then behind the front, we see that big drop. And that's when we'll end up seeing that potential for the wintry weather. Don't forget to download your WRAL weather app. We will have the latest videos that we record right here. It's just us, and the text that we write, the graphics that we build, helping you to plan for this. So choose the reliable source, WRAL. Consider your weekend plans. Some of the plans are already being canceled. We have some of those cancellations here on WRAL. Be prepared for power outages. Take a look at these temperatures. We're going to see highs below normal. We'll be below normal all the way through the weekend, and then even Monday and Tuesday, especially where there's snow, it's going to be very cold. So it's going to take a while to melt what does happen.
And it's so important for you to stay informed with us here at WRAL. And we're trying to get some more information about this crash right here in Knightdale, on Knightdale Boulevard near Old Knight Road. It involves a bus. We're working to figure out if it's a public transit bus or school bus. As soon as we get eyes on it and more information, we'll let you know. Here's a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue. These are the eastbound lanes coming toward us, flowing at a nice steady clip this morning. And that's indicative of what we're seeing. All of our major routes relatively delay-free. Also in Durham as well. No delays to report on any of those major routes. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Your time is 6:21 this morning. We're talking about rental scams. Five on Your Side is going to walk you through how you can protect your money before finding a new home.
Now, if you see breaking news, have a story tip or video or pictures of weather where you are, report it to us. You can do that at WRAL.com/report it.
I'm Laura Levine here in the WRAL Live Center this morning, where Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced today that he plans and has agreed to join President Trump's Board of Peace in a departure from an earlier stance when his office criticized the makeup of the board's committee tasked with overseeing Gaza. Norway and Sweden, meanwhile, said that they would not be joining the board with concerns that the board could seek to replace the United Nations as the mediator in global conflicts. As we know, President Trump is headed to Switzerland right now for that World Economic Forum, and he's expected to discuss more about the plans of this board.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
Sabrina Carpenter is headed back to the Grammys and a High School Musical reunion.
Yeah, to talk about that this morning, we have Ken Smith and What's Trending.
We'll get to High School Musical in a minute, but let's start with Sabrina Carpenter. She's returning to the stage of the Grammy Awards. The pop star will perform for the second year in a row. Last year, she won 2 awards, and she's nominated for 6 trophies this year.
Yeah, she's up for Song of the Year. Perhaps you've heard of it, Man-Child, a term that does not apply to either of you, by the way. The Grammy Awards are on February 1st.
We hope not. We have children of our own, so we may be grown men. Hey, a special reunion for the 20th anniversary of the movie High School Musical. Ashley Tisdale French, Lucas Grabeel, and Monique Coleman were at a special event to honor the popular franchise.
It's like you can't hear the words High School Musical without thinking, it's all in this together.
Oh, yeah.
January 20th,
My
2006.
goodness.
That's when the first movie came out, and they had those 2 other movies as a result as well. Goodness.
20 years.
We're all feeling old now.
Yeah, my knees hurt all of a sudden. All right, someone give me some Bengay. All right, time is 6:26. Happening today, families in Cumberland County will get the chance to weigh in on the future plans for the school district. School leaders there are working on their new 5-year strategic plan, and that will be from this year through 2031. Tonight, parents will get the chance to share ideas on what they want to see for the schools. And that session will be at E.E. Smith High School at 6 p.m., and there will also be 2 sessions next month. Wake County has approved the design for a new animal shelter, and the plan is for a much bigger, modern facility that can care for more animals. It will also better separate areas for things such as sick pets and adoptions. It's part of a long-term solution while the old shelter gets patched up, at least for now.
Winter weather storm prep. What Duke Energy is doing to make sure as many people as possible keep power during the weekend winter weather.
And pleading guilty. Why the suspected Hedingham mass shooter's lawyer says he is taking that path years after that shooting.
And what we're tracking is a high and a low working together to bring us a major winter storm over the weekend. We'll talk about how the path of that could alter what we see here.